Hey guys, welcome back to Cubin Fever, and today I'll be teaching you to look OLL. So let's start the video. So in look OLL, you orient the edges and you also orient the corners. And sometimes you also do both. Using look OLL, you can orient the edges and corners in 2 steps. But if you learn look OLL, which is used by most advanced cubers, then you can orient the edges and corners in 1 step. But today we'll be learning look OLL. If you've just learned beginner CFOP or just learned the beginner's method, but you want to get faster, then this video will help you. By the way, if you already didn't know, OLL stands for Orienting Last Layer. So enough of me talking already, let's start the video. The first case is if you have an L-shaped pattern like this. In this case, you move the cube toward you, so this is on the right, this is on your right, and you do this algorithm, F wide. So F wide is basically you're moving both of these faces. So if you were doing F, then you would move this face like this. F wide is moving both of these layers. So F wide, R, U, R prime, U prime, F wide prime. And that should solve the case. Next, if you have a bar, like after you finish your F2L or the second layer, you find yourself with a bar shape. Then and you have these yellow edges right here and there. Then all you do is you do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And then you can see that we have this cross, which I'll be showing later in this video. And here you have to orient the corners. Sometimes you might just have a dot, one single dot, after you finish your F2L. In this case, look to see if there are 4 edges like this, which there will always be. And you do this one slightly long algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. So this will bring you to the other case, which I showed you earlier in the video, and then you do the same thing. F wide, R, U, R prime, U, F wide prime. This one is really easy to remember because it's just a combination of the bar-shaped patterns algorithm and the L-shaped patterns algorithm. So many of you should already know those 3 from the beginner's method, but if you don't, then it's really helpful to learn those both. And those algorithms were what orient the edges. Next, I'll be doing the algorithms to orient the corners. This case is called the chameleon. In this case, you'll have a cross like this, and then you'll have these 2 corners that surround the cross. The algorithm for this case is you just hold it like this, and the algorithm is R wide, U, R prime, U prime, R wide prime, F, R, F prime. And that should solve the top layer. This next simple case is called the car, and it's super easy to identify since there's only a cross. In this case, you'll see 4 yellow corners that are facing each other like this. And the algorithm is also super simple. You do R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, prime, R prime. And that should solve the top layer. This next case is very similar, so watch out. It's called the blinker. And in this case, you'll have the same yellow cross, but instead of the corners being opposite each other, they'll be positioned differently. So you'll see 2 yellow corners like this, facing to your left, and 2 yellow corners facing each other. So in this case, you want to make sure that these corners are facing to the left. Then you do this algorithm. R, U2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R2, U2, R. And that should solve the top layer. These next two algorithms are probably the most easiest to remember for the corner orientation cases. So in this case, you'll have a cross and just one corner, like this. And you'll have one corner facing right here. So either there will be a corner, yellow corner right there, or one in the back, right here. So if you have this case where it's in the back and it's facing to the right, then you do this algorithm. You make sure it's facing to the right and you do this one algorithm. R, U2, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime. And this case is called the anti-SUD. This next case is called the SUD, and it's super easy to remember. Instead of the yellow corner being right there, it'll be right in front of you. So it's very easy to identify. Then you do the simple algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And that will solve the top layer. This one is called the headlights. It's super easy to identify since there's a cross and then two yellow corners like this, and then you'll have two corners facing you. The algorithm for this case is R2, D, R prime, U2, R, D prime, R prime, U2, R prime. And that should solve the top layer. In this case, it's called the bow tie, and it's very easy to remember because it's just like a chameleon. All you do is there will be two yellow corners like this, one right there and one right there. So in this case, you hold it so this yellow corner is facing you, and then you do F prime followed by most of the algorithm from the chameleon except the F prime at the end. And that should solve the case. So that's it for today's video. That was ToolLook OLL. Next week I'll be releasing a video on ToolLook PLL, so stay tuned. I've also ordered a GAN 356 RS and a Cui KD 2x2 speed cube, so I'll be unboxing them soon on the channel as well. And that's all. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down in my videos on what you would like to see next. Thanks for watching. Bye.